Hi, my name is Sam Laux. I'm going to go over my research paper in regards to why I think animal testing has not outlived its usefulness. A little bit of backstory about me. I already have my license in veterinary technology medicine, so I have had experience with animal research and testing. With that being said, I agree that it has not outlived its usefulness. However, there are two types of animal testing, and one I do not agree with. The one I do not agree with is cosmetic testing. I think that's wrong. I don't think it's really necessary, and it is not an essential part to our society. However, animal medicinal testing is still a very relevant and very important part of our research and a very important part of our medicinal advances in modern society. I chose to write about why animal research has not outlived its effectiveness is because a lot of people don't have the insight that I have on animal research, and they don't understand what and all goes on in there. And I had hoped that my paper had maybe brought some light to those who had a chance to read it. Along those lines, I was very much so one of those people a few years ago that was against animal testing. I thought it was cruel and inhumane. But one thing that my schooling and my experience has taught me is that animal testing is probably the most humane thing that we could do for our research animals and still gain knowledge for advancements in medicine. Well, I can start off by discussing how they are maintained and housed and where I got my research information and credible information from that. I say credible because it is written by a council of veterinarians and technicians and assistants within laboratory facilities that make up these rules or guidelines for the usage of animal cares in facilities. I actually have a book called The Guide for the Use of Laboratory Animals, and that goes in to explain exactly dimension, size for their cages, the humidity, the temperature, all based on specifics that these animals require. For example, a rat is going to require a different temperature and humidity than a guinea pig. The cages are based off of surface area of the animal, not so much off of just a set like 2x2 cage. It is required by the size of the animal. These animals are kept in clean environments due to their nature. They are supposed to be research animals, so as minimal variance as possible. With that being said, they are also treated very, very well. They have to be provided what is called enrichment, which is a source of entertainment. When I was in school, I took a primatology course, so I have experience with primates and primate research. My group was the first group to start doing laser therapy treatments on an old arthritic primate, which really seemed to help him in conjunction with some other stuff, and he was treated very well. Everybody was in a safe environment, both the animal and the people involved. The other sources that I used were myself, which I can hopefully count myself as a credible source because of my experience and what I had been taught. The other sources that I used were more internet-based sources, but I did my research on their authors to hopefully gain some insight on them and their credibility. So I believe that my sources were credible. I think that once people start to realize that animal testing is not inhumane, it is very helpful, and it gives us a lot of good backgrounds for medicine. I hope that people will start to see it in a more positive light and understand that it is still a very much necessary portion of our society today. One of the bigger studies right now is coming out is that the HIV medications, when given long term, are actually showing to prevent the spread of diseases, which is coming out through both the human trials and the animal testing. So human trials are pretty much the same as animal testing in my opinion, because you are using the humans to test the medicine instead of an animal, which may or may not be the most ideal, which is why we do animal testing first.